than I've ever been.
You wake up in a research lab to find 3 large entities around you, unbeknownst about what's about to happen to you. You rush with your right arm, being the only limb you have left, to go find an iron, which is able to causterize your bleeding wounds before you pass out. Hey guys, I just want to quickly say I've been watching these types of videos for like a long time now, and obviously I enjoy them a lot because I'm making my own, but I just thought it would be fun to see how I would do making one. You know, I think it'd be kind of fun to do, and you know, this game that I'm playing right now, Endoparasitic, you know, it's quite a unique game, but I hope you enjoy this as much as I like watching them. So yeah, enjoy. After using the iron to seal your wounds, your objective is to basically go through the floor and get rid of the parasite, as it's detected by one of the sensors, as you can see in the clip. To get rid of these parasites, you will need to use a syringe. This is the first time we're introduced to the syringe in the game. A brief rundown about this is it's the only healable in the game, which means obviously there's no other sort of buffs or anything. It's also used to keep the parasite from taking over your body, as there is a timer, and even if you don't get hit, you still have to keep taking them, which means you can't stay in one place for too long. One of the mechanics in the game is picking simple locks. These locks can have 4 pins all the way up to 8 pins, and they will never have an uneven amount of pins. You solve these simple locks by finding pairs of 2. Obviously these pins have to be the same length, and you have to find them at the same time, otherwise they will reset and you have to do the whole lock again, which if you're doing an 8-pin lock can take ages. Usually in these crates you will either find a vaccine syringe or ammo to use. Other than that, there is nothing else you can find in these. So just to highlight the things you actually need to do on each floor. Obviously the aim of each floor is to find a exit. This will be a dark corridor, and I'm guessing there's multiple floors to this because it says it when you know, check on your own progress. So the aim is to find that door, obviously, and go to the next level. Also, other things to look out for are the notes on the floor and computers. These are usually like to guide you on how to use something, like syringes, guns, ammo, like how to reload. And the computers with messages on them are usually left by the scientists of the lab that are trying to relay a message to other people, mainly just you, but just to, you know, see what's going on and what they're doing before they obviously leave. In this video I'll probably only be looking at the notes from the other scientist, only because obviously I'm going to explain how to use guns, and I've already done it with the syringes, so I will be reading out most of the computer notes, I think the ones that are important. Other than that, I probably won't cover the other ones. One of the first enemies that you'll find in the game is something that kind of resembles a human. This is the mutated scientist, and they just look like I don't even know, they just look like massive human beings. As you can see, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of overgrown and expanded, and you'll see this is like a reoccurring theme when looking at the enemies in this game. It usually is medium strength. I would say it does drain ammo throughout the game, but some of the weapons one-shot them, so it's not too bad. I will be talking about this when I get onto the weapons later in the game. But yeah, there's not much to know about these. These are usually quite slow, but they do take around 3 hits to kill you, because they're strong but they're slow, so you're not really going to take too much damage. Another thing I will add about these enemies is they will follow you throughout the entire map. They do not usually lose sight of you once they've seen you. Sometimes you can go up right next to them and they won't see you though. It depends where you found them. But just to be aware, you can't just run away unless you just go straight to the exit, because they usually catch up with you. Like in this clip here. Now I'm going to talk about obviously what, one of the most exciting parts of this game to me is finding your first weapon. This is the revolver. Just like any revolver, it's usually a 6-shot. So the cool thing about this game is that you actually reload it by hand. You have to use your mouse to empty the bullets and then reload them. The thing about this is when you're fighting enemies, it can get quite tense because you have to run away while reloading, because it takes a bit of time to unload them and then reload. So you can die a lot to this, as you may have seen in the montage at the start. The main drawback about this is it usually takes about 4 shots to kill a scientist with it, which, when you're only using a pistol as your weapon is very draining, but they do give you quite a bit of ammo at the start to use, so it's really not too bad. Obviously, if you don't fill it up fully, it's like playing roulette almost, because some of the gun will misfire and you won't take a shot, so you've got to be wary when you're not filling up your gun right to the top. One funny part about obviously when you obtain the pistol is the guard actually asks you to help him and your character just kind of ignores him, so telling him to just pray at this point because he's past any help, which is kind of ironic because your character has one hand and he's got all of his limbs together. We're now going to be looking at some notes that are throughout a few of the starting levels, the ones I haven't talked about yet. These notes kind of just highlight, what to do in the level. Like this one is talking about containment breach and sealing and evacuating through reception for screening. A lot of these are just, the switch is used to open doors. Obviously this isn't a false alarm, so it won't be removed, but you can use it for B.
Evacuation protocols cancelled. It is safe to return to research stations.
The person who wrote these notes are obviously you, because you're Saint, the lead protagonist. Sample has been sequestered to an unnamed research facility approximately 1 kilometer from main facility for safety purposes. All research will be conducted with remotely operated drones. Material analysis shows the sample is a massive pure carbon arranged in strands that appear like hair clumped together. There are no visible exotic materials present in the sample that would indicate the cause of mutation field around the sample. Multiple existence decay measurements revealed the sample to be approximately 4.196 trillion years old, making it the oldest sample personally encountered. Considering our universe is only 14 billion years old, this suggests that the sample has either been somehow altered to appear older than it looks, or originates from a universe far older than our own. May Null, my god of cognition, of skill, bless our research. Science notes describe this sample as a hair clumped together, and also how the sample decay measurements are around 4 trillion years old, meaning this parasite is way older than the universe. So either this has survived from a past universe, or our universe is a lot older than it was thought to be. Moving back to the mutated scientists, the description suits them pretty well, as they just look like large human beings, just a bit more hairy, as the parasite is also described in these notes. Also, one of the notes tell you that anyone who breaches security can be punished by death, meaning the facility is very dangerous as shown by the creatures running around it, and is wise to keep it a secret. The next set of notes talk about how the flies only survive with the anomaly and the immunity. I'm guessing the immunity is the vaccine used in the syringe, you know, what you take to keep your virus from taking over your body. The only problem is if you're not a anomaly and using the immunity, which I'm guessing is the syringe again, you will most likely have to keep taking the vaccine until, well, you just die normally, because obviously you have to keep the virus at bay constantly, otherwise obviously you will have it burst through your head. One thing that I don't get is they managed to transport, I think it was 2.5 million flies. I mean, you've got to have some crazy budget for this. So I'm a bit confused on how you got all of those up into space, but that defeats the purpose of the game. Now for the next enemy. The mutated lab rats are usually the most annoying enemy in the game, only coming up to you when you peek around a corner or corridor to hit you once just to then run away. One theme in the creatures in this game is the parasites that have taken over seems to enlarge them, as the human's a lot bigger than Saint, obviously if he had legs as well. And if you see the rats, they're usually a lot bigger than a rat would be, being around like, you know, almost the size of his torso, so a lot larger than a usual rat. One of the only benefits that you actually get from these lab rats, they take significantly less ammo than any other creature in the game, being only 1 bullet per, as the mutated scientist takes around 4 bullets from the pistol. Obviously the mutated lab rat only takes about 1, if you hit your shot, of course. Yeah, so you know how I was talking about the revolver that is a 4-shot kill? Well, this is where the next weapon comes in, the double barrel shotgun. This shit is, you know, it's really good. So I only really use guns like this on the scientist because it's the only one that requires more than like a few shots to kill. There are some other stuff that does take more than, I'd say, a few shots, but you know, stuff like the rat, I wouldn't use the shotgun for the rat because you just take it out with a pistol. One of the only downsides to this gun is the recoil. The recoil is really bad. When you reach out your arm, it's not so bad, but if it's very close to you, like in tight corners, you know, there's a lot of those in this game, it will start to become a bit annoying, especially if it's, you know, multiple enemies, as if you shoot the shotgun in a corridor, your hand will filling either left or right, you know, from recoil, so it can get you killed, I'd say, most of the time. So using this in tight spaces can sometimes just be trolling. After the game introduces the lab rats and the shotgun, the game starts to actually pick up quite a bit in pace, giving you more enemies on levels. Placements for the rats are getting harder, which means you have to be quick, otherwise you'll end up dying a lot like I did, by, you know, them creeping around the corner and then just running away, and you can't even get your shot in. This isn't all as bad as you think it is, because you still get like a few vaccines per level. Sometimes it isn't enough, and sometimes there is less, but you're probably expecting, like me if I played hard mode, which I did, to get literally slammed on every level, so you need to use those wisely usually. And obviously the main part is just unloading and reloading a lot quicker, because that will get you killed most of the time. The only other change to the floors are just normal corridors are now either wider or shorter. The shorter ones having, you know, more mutated lab rats coming around the corners, or the wider corridors having a mix of enemies being mutated, you know, lab rats and scientists coming at you at the same time. Which, you know, either all can, you know, it's a lot harder to do than just the starting levels. So the only people that we've heard from at the moment is Saint and Pravi. These are the main researchers. This is where Lucy is introduced. She is a receptionist. And in this note, she's talking about how she has a vision and a dream that the parasites were meant for her. This is obviously delusional, as what Saint and Pravi would have probably thought anyway. This kind of gives some sort of suspicion to Lucy actually being a reason why the parasites were released, because in a computer note that was left, she seems to have clocked out a lot later than Pravi and Saint, which obviously means she was either doing something shady while the others were sleeping or, in their quarters. So she might have been the reason to, them getting out. Also, some of the researchers seem to talk about, gods sorting out their problems. Like, Saint talks about Null, his god of cognition. And then in this note here, Lucy talks about Pyrrhide, the goddess of light and love, which is, I don't know, it's interesting to see they all seem to look to someone when they're in a problem. I did try looking this up to see if there was anything about them, but nothing really came up. It just brought me onto the wiki and didn't give me much information other than that. Now we're going to be moving on to the next gun. After you defeat the room full of mutated scientists, you then get access to a small room. This contains one of the most overpowered guns in the game, the flare gun. This is probably not my favourite gun, but it will absolutely destroy most enemies, including your FPS. I mean, for a game this size, it's not like a AAA. I thought it would be able to handle the flare gun, but surprisingly not. Other than that, it's actually really good at clearing rooms out, and I definitely used it every time I got ammo for it, because, it's just a free room to clear. It doesn't instantly kill them, but instead lets the enemy slowly burn, taking around a few seconds, which means if there is a rat in the room, it may get a hit if it spots you, but other than that, if you miss with it, which is a good plus side, it can ricochet off the wall and manage to hit them, which, can save you in a lot of situations. The only downside that I will put on this gun is the ammo size is fucking tremendously large. It is that bad. I would only carry around about one at a time, otherwise I would have to use the ammo because you just can't carry anything else of it. Although I only was able to carry one because I didn't get all of the inventory upgrades, so either or I would only carry two, but yeah, it's a decent gun. So for each new weapon that you get, you also get a new enemy. A corpse trap definitely adds a new fear into each level, and it is able to hear you when you move really fast or shoot a gun. So if there's enemies coming for you in a level and then you've got to get past one of these, you're basically most likely going to die. The only way to avoid this is through slowly crawling out of their range so they can't grab you. And you may think you can just run around them or run straight past them if you're that quick, but they are pretty fast at grabbing you when you are in their range. Even though they're quite an annoying enemy, I do like how they actually add some, the way of strategy in the game. You have to you have to basically choose if you want to take them out or save ammo before even entering the level. Usually you won't need to kill them, but sometimes it does make it a lot easier for the entire level. It takes around 8 bullets, but you usually would use the crossbow, which we will get to soon. Just a quick note on the inventory upgrade slots. These are usually scattered around the entire game, and I think I missed a bunch of them. They are really easy to miss. I think I grabbed maybe 3 of them, so about 12 slots. They're especially important for guns with larger ammo, like the flare gun and the shotgun. I like to carry a lot of shotgun ammo around, so this kind of helps a lot. It gives you 4 extra ammo slots, so I'm guessing that's 2 revolver bullets and maybe 1.5 shotgun. Having this extra space actually allows you to carry more ammo into the next floor, because I definitely run out a lot on some floors, not having any ammo and then having to really carefully use it. I will just make a comparison here. So the first, when you start the game, this is the ammo size, is tiny compared to near to the end of the game, where it's absolutely massive compared to, I think it's almost like 2.5 times the size, but the comparison is crazy. It's needed though for stuff like flare gun ammo. I also want to talk about one of the other mutated animals that you find in this room where you find the slots. This absolutely massive thing is just in a confined box. It doesn't actually come out or attack you, but you will see this later in the game. After completing the level with the massive mutated animal that you find in there, you'll actually get to see one of the other researchers that researched with Saint, which is Pravi, the maker of the vaccine. And she's locked behind a wall that I think you're able to open, but you choose not to because, you know, she is in suspicion right now for releasing the vaccine. Yeah, fuck it, right, next level. Oh my god.
Sint? What in God's name's happened to you? Never mind. There's no time. The airlock is broken from this side. If you could just open the...
If I let you out, those things will get out as well. I don't think it's a very wise risk to take.
No, please!
Tell me what you know about the outbreak, Pravi.
Well, I saw one of the airtight containers we used to transport the specimens by the decontamination chamber. Someone intentionally released the parasites through the oxygen system.
So it was premeditated. It's rather fortunate that we had your vaccines then,
What are you implying?
Only 3 people in this facility had access to my research. And if it wasn't Lucy, and it wasn't you...
You think I let them out? You were the one considering a mass infection! You got what you wanted, didn't you?
May the gods have mercy on you, Pravi.
No, wait! Ah!
Twinkie survived. After Pravi's brief cameo, you find one of my favourite weapons, the crossbow. This has basically got infinite ammo, and in some games where you are able to pick up arrows, there is usually a chance of it breaking after firing it.
Oh no, this is... What the fuck? No, this is not how it's supposed to work. No, Jordan! So
These arrows are unbreakable, allowing you to pick them up from, you know, anywhere, from dead bodies to walls to just wherever you fire them. Glazing this weapon even more is it's actually silent when shooting anything, so enemies like the corpse trap are unable to sense you being there, because if you fire a normal gun, it alerts them to, you know, come grab you. I would say the only backfire is reloading. Now, I used to use this a lot in my playthrough, but the only annoying thing is when you have to actually reload by cranking it up, you can sometimes slip and it will just start it basically doesn't reload and you are dead as soon as that happens. It is so hard to actually just grab onto it again and start cranking it up. But yeah, it got me killed so many times. But, you know, I would definitely say it's one of the best weapons in this game. So at this point in the game, it only gets harder. There is now no more guns that you're actually going to pick up, being the crossbow is the last gun you're going to get. Most levels will now start to increase in intensity, having more enemies in general. Some of them will have more open areas, and some of them have tighter areas, this level right here. And basically you need to rely on increasing your own skill to beat these levels, and mostly reloading faster, That's kind of what I messed up with a lot. Also, I want to add that obviously you can't just like skip the enemies in this level unless you manage to open the door quick enough. They will literally chase you through the entire map. Lab rats will chase you. There's maybe a few of them that won't, but like obviously corpse traps, but you know, most of them will just chase you until you die. So you gotta kill them all. Now for one of my most liked and hated enemies in the game. So this is the only level where you actually have to beat the mutated lab monkey. The one thing I have to say is it's so big compared to the others. Compared to something like the rat, where it kind of grows like a little bit. Like a monkey isn't much smaller than a human, but for some reason it is so large and very fast. As soon as it locks onto you, you're dead. There is no way of, you know, escaping. It literally will just chase you for ages. So to be able to kill this thing, you only can use the crossbow, because it's the only silent weapon in the game, meaning if you were to use a gun, it just manages to instantly lock onto you, and then it'll proceed to basically just 200 bump you. There will also be arrows scattered all around the arena, because you can only hold around 4, including the one in the crossbow. When you actually shoot the monkey, it will actually just start running like frantically around the room. It's not like any other mob in this game. If it gets too close, it will just like lock onto you. There's no running away from this. It will literally chase you until you're dead. After you stay away from it for a bit, it will just go back to sleep. And I forgot to mention that actually it's sleeping. I will show that now. After a few attempts, you'll notice the monkey actually has a pattern that it kind of goes in. This will be something that you'll have to learn. I managed to get it out of pure luck, so I defeated it pretty luckily. But you just run away from it and make sure it doesn't spot you.
City on fire.
Just kill it. I killed it! Where we find the last enemy, and it definitely deserves to be the last enemy. This is the hunter, and it's almost as annoying as the lab rats, if not sometimes more. It has pretty disgustingly OP abilities, like phasing in and out, and also, you know, just having dash abilities and just coming back from the dead even when you kill it. Now that's just, it gets pretty annoying after a while. With this enemy, you can't really just start blindly shooting at it as quickly as possible, as with some of the other enemies in this game. You actually have to time this one correctly. So it comes out with a dash, and after it charges at you, it will have a time where you can shoot it, and it will actually deal the damage. This takes a lot of ammo, and obviously when you manage to knock it down, you basically have a 30-second timer to do what you want to do. If there's any notes you want to read, go read them. because as soon as that 30-second timer comes up, you basically just have to start again. And I wouldn't recommend wasting ammo, I just recommend dodging it, because after a while it's just going to kill you when you just don't suspect it. So I mainly just ran past it and tried to get to the next level. Other than that, it's just kind of annoying. I wouldn't say like I hate it. I definitely think it increases, like, you know, you have to be aware like all the time because it could just pop back. I think it has a great character design as well. So I did try to look up where the hunter was actually based off. Like, most of them are based off a animal, but it seems like I have not been able to find it. I did go on the wiki. I know it's not always the best place to look, but there's absolutely nothing. So for this one, I am not sure what it's based on. The others are quite easy, but this one was just hard. So I have no idea on this one. After your first encounter with the hunter, you'll practically be seeing it in every other level that you're going to go through, because obviously, you know, it definitely increases the difficulty and obviously stops you from gathering ammo. It's just, you know, it's a way to heighten up the skill of the game by having to add another annoying animal in there. So yeah, I definitely think it makes the game a lot harder, and you will be definitely seeing it on almost every other level, so good luck. After traversing through a few more of the levels, you will find a note from Lucy, clearly being, well, delusional. Yeah, I've already read this.
The very notion they'd pick her over me. How vain, how clueless.
Maybe Silent here was just a little bit salty, but even so, it is a bit unbelievable to just listen to a parasite obviously being tricked into letting them escape and obviously just spread around the labs. And now this is the part you've been waiting for. Oh shit.
You should be dead.
I'm more alive than I've ever been.
You're the
Let's
one who
go.
let the parasites out. I can't believe it. I didn't want to believe it.
Bro, should I start
For as
edging?
smart as you think you are, you've been putting this together a little slow for my taste. I let the parasites out because they asked me to. They wanted to make me their god, not you. All I had to do was let them flourish.
How could they pick you out of everyone? You're half-witted, vapid, ignorant.
You're the ignorant one, Sint. You think being dedicated to your work,
Oh yeah.
worshipping knowledge, and valuing science over others' lives and happiness makes you above everyone else. You're not above me. You're not above Pravi. You're not even above the lab rats. You're immoral, unethical. You have no compass, no virtues, and you haven't even got the self-awareness to care.
Let's
Without
go,
feeling,
Sign.
You're nothing.
I was saying his name
That's
right, I'm
why
guessing.
they picked me. This universe has too many men like you.
So I did say there was no more enemies, and I was right, there is none. So the boss that you're actually fighting is the hunter. Apparently, as you may have seen in the wiki, it never dies, so, you know, maybe in each level it's just been one of them, and it's been constantly following you. I mean, it is the hunter, so obviously it has mostly the same abilities, being the dash and obviously teleportation. The only difference here is when you get further into the fight, you'll start spawning mutated humans. So I don't know how it does that, but yeah. It has a collection of mass in the corner, which it actually, I believe, stems from. And you basically have to use your shotgun, or any gun, to shoot it, slowly taking health off it. One thing I would like to say about this fight is it is very underwhelming compared to especially the monkey. The monkey was you know, pretty hard because you had to use one weapon, but this seems quite tame compared to the mutated lab monkey. Now, when killing the hunter, you will get an achievement saying Exterminator. You will then obviously just exit the level as you would any other, except something actually happens when you go through the corridor this time, instead of just, you know, heading to the next level. You'll receive a error message. It kind of looks like an old, like, Windows one, but obviously it's not real. You can tell because you've still got your hand on the screen. You proceed to walk down a path that leads you to Lucy, who is clearly obviously there just to say goodbye and pretty much just say that she's abandoning him and just leaves on the rocket.
I won't kill you, Scent. The
Oh,
parasite will do a fine enough job of that.
You're just going to leave me here?
Why not? Isn't that what she would do? Good luck, Scent. May Pyrite have
Why are you
mercy
edging?
on you.
Okay, she's gone. After I finished.
Damn it. Now what?
Well guys, this is the end of the video. I really did enjoy this game, and I definitely will be playing the second version at some point, as there has been a release on Steam for the second one. I don't know how long ago it came out, but I will get to it at some point. As an overall though, I really enjoyed this game. It's definitely something different. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. See you later.